ready to go with Pokemon, the trading card game with Toronite. So let's wish Toronite good luck and throw things over now.
Hello everybody and welcome to Pokemon TCG. My name is Toronite. I'm so grateful for Speedromizer for giving me the opportunity to showcase this game. This game is wonderful. It's been on Speedromizer in the past. I'm very fortunate that to be able to showcase this game as someone who loves teaching people about this game. It's gotten new life on the Nintendo Switch because it got ported to the Switch last year, and we are going to be doing an 80% Glitchless run. Although might want to stretch the meaning of the word glitchless. So before we do that, let's name our character. So let's go with Speed. And Speed 6, yeah, to commemorate Speedromizer VI. Okay, there's gonna be plenty of time for me to kind of explain everything, but we have a nice little countdown. We're gonna go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay, so Pokemon TCG. It was a game it was basically a Generation 1 trading card game version of Red and Blue that came out in 1998. It was uber popular, as is literally everything with Pokemon, especially in the 90s. So this game, essentially, because it's a video game version of the trading card game, plays almost exactly as the trading card game in real life back in the day. It's a very fun, very fast-paced game in terms of the speedrunning. So the glitchless category is the most popular category, although I will try to see if I am not rusty enough to showcase the one glitch that I like to kind of showcase in marathons. But if not, then we're only doing this just to skip the tutorial, because the tutorial is 8 minutes long, and we don't got time for an 8-minute tutorial cutscene. At least I don't. And hope all of you in the chat are having a wonderful Speedromizer. What a first day, by the way, we've had. I'm so happy that there were so many great runs. It opened up with Spyro 3, one of my favorite games of all time. Shout outs to Lemmings for a fantastic run. We got some backyard wrestling. We got a lot of fun runs from that first day. So we're gonna open up with our Golding. By the way, this tutorial is premeditated. Everything is basically the exact same thing every time you put up the game for the first time. There's always going to be this exact same hand, because it's going to be hand-holding you, and it's programmed for you to basically dictate all the actions to try to win a game. So, how do you play Pokemon TCG? You build up a team of Pokemon, and you knock your opponent's Pokemon out. Basically, like how Pokemon in the RPG works. The way it goes is you use energy cards to basically build and strengthen your Pokemon to be able to attack. Every attack in this game has energy resource, and they correspond to the 7 Pokemon types in the game. But before we get into that, we are going to try to see if I can get this glitch going. There we go. Perfect. Well, not perfect, but at least we did it. So if you do a certain button command or certain inputs at the exact same time, you're able to actually instantly win the game, meaning that you can technically go through the entire game only doing this trick and beat the game in like 20 minutes. But I want to showcase all the cool stuff that is in the game. So we're just going to only do this as one instance. We're going to go with the Bulbasaur deck, which I would like to recommend for new beginners. Bulbasaur deck has a lot of really great qualities in terms of the getting a lot of beginner-friendly strats going. Before we go a little bit deeper, I'm going to do a... Let me see if I can get this right. Oh, wait, actually. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to do a RNG manipulation called mail manipulation. The way this game operates is that it is dictated by a global frame rule that is going to dictate almost everything in the game. And I want to say that if I do this right, It's a Chansey. Oh, well. Not gonna spend too much time. Because the way I basically do it with the way I'm doing this on the Switch, and I didn't have enough time to kind of prep, because this was a bit of a last-minute change in all this, but very fortunate that I was still able to at least get something going with the mail manipulation. So what I was trying to do is trying to manipulate my way into grabbing a Hitmonchan. That makes the early game a little bit more consistent. We already have a Hitmonchan already, but having two is definitely better than one. And that free mail booster pack that you get, by the way, that was our rival Ronald. We will see him multiple times. That booster pack that we get is a Coliseum booster pack. It is one of the 4 booster packs in the game, and it has many of the best cards in the entire game in terms of speedrunning. It's got plus power, which adds 10 more damage to your following attack. It has computer search, which allows you to discard 2 cards from your hand and allows you to search any one card in the entire deck and add it to your hand. And I do stress any card, so it's kind of an overpowered card for a speedrun that allows you to search for literally any card that you want. And also it's got the trio, Scyther, Electabuzz, just a lot of heavy hitters that we will try to we would want to try to see and beat throughout the game. So we have that plus power, which could prove very useful. Let's see what we have. Ooh, this actually that's potentially fun. So you're seeing that we have a wait. We have I'm doing the quick math. Against, this is going to be very risky. This is going to be very, let's see, if he adds any Pokemon, yeah, no, that's a loss. So what I was trying to do is trying to see if I can have enough health to try and beat the 2 Machops, because that was about as much as I could handle. 3 Machops, it was not going to happen. That's kind of the unfortunate part with Pokemon TCG speedrunning in the early game. There's going to be a lot of resets, but that's also kind of a good thing, because resetting resets literally everything. So it changes everything from what your opponent draws, what you draw, and a lot of times resetting basically means, it gives you a clean slate. And in some regards, resetting is faster than just trying to brute force a fight and trying to see whether or not you you can get a... Ah, come on. Don't heal. We want to try to go through this fight very, very quickly. But thankfully, because we are in a good spot right now, I think if Jessica doesn't add anything... Okay, yep, nope, we won. So yeah, so you're kind of seeing all these little symbols that are appearing at the top of the Pokemon's health bar. Those are energy cards. We have to fulfill energy requirements in order to be able to attack. And by doing so, we can unleash our best attacks. Oh, we got the trio and Hitmonchan. That is beautiful. That's a beautiful opening pack. And normally, so when you knock out a Pokemon, you have you take a prize card. Most fights in the game require you to pick up 4 prize cards to win a fight. However, if you knock out your opponent, all of your opponent's Pokemon before you pick up the last card, then you are able to actually... then you're able to actually win automatically. And that's the route that we want to try and win these fights, is by trying to collect as few prize cards as possible so that we don't have to worry about having long winnable fights. So let's see. No, we're good. We knock out the Eevee. And the good thing about Hitmonchan is that a lot of the fights in the early game, they have a lot of Pokemon that are weak to Hitmonchan. And Hitmonchan, you may not realize, for those of you who play modern TCG, it may not look like it, but 70 HP was a lot of health back in the old days, and inflicting 40 damage was a lot. And the really, really cool thing in Pokemon TCG, at least back in those days, was the fact that the way weakness and resistances are applied, every Pokemon has their own individual weakness. It's not the it's not exactly the rock, paper, scissors format that we're all accustomed to. It's not like the arbitrary, well, all fire type are weak to water, all grass type are weak to fire, etc., etc., etc. So what we do, so we have to take into consideration what each individual Pokemon's weakness in the game is, and kind of take that into account with how we operate in terms of what is going to be the biggest risk-reward situation in terms of making sure that, you know, we don't go for anything overly risky that it just kind of end the run, you know, before it really got a chance to kind of get going. But at the same time, trying to get an all-encompassing Pokemon to deal with a lot of the early game. And that's where Hitmonchan comes in. Hitmonchan, you know, we've only had one Hitmonchan in play throughout this entire run, 3 fights, and look at how many Pokemon Hitmonchan has already knocked out. So kind of goes to show how great Hitmonchan really is, especially in the olden days in Pokemon TCG, in competitive Pokemon TCG, where it was a staple in classic Pokemon TCG, and we're resetting because that flying Pikachu is weak. Actually, no, it's not weak. It resists fighting. So that's kind of what I was talking about. Yeah, Pikachu is a, you know, all these Pikachu are lightning type, and you would think, well, you know, in Pokemon TCG, most lightning type are weak to fighting. But flying Pikachu is actually resist fighting. So if you see flying Pikachu, get out of dodge because you are not going to win that fight. Or if you are, congratulations, you are having an incredibly slow fight. So we're kind of just going through a lot of these. It may seem like I'm doing a lot of fights at random, and you're kind of wondering, like, well, what is this routing? Why am I going to one club, and then I'm going to another club, but not facing all of the members of one club? So the routing is very intentional. It is absolutely not me making stuff up on the fly because I was just told, yeah, can you do a run like right now? There's a reason for this, because every fight in this game has to be, at least in the Glitchless run, has to be fought in order to beat the game. Because some of the gym leaders in this game, they're called club masters, to be a little bit more specific. Some of them have requirements, and those requirements include having to beat every single trainer in every single, you know, gym trainer in the olden. Ooh, that's a Zapdos. That's really unfortunate. Zapdos also resists lightning, which means Hitmonchan's special punch, which does 40 damage typically, it would only do 10, and Zapdos got 90 HP, and yeah, I don't want to deal with that. But yes, so all of these trainers that I've been dealing with, they are all trying to fulfill an eventual requirement in terms of ensuring that we can face those bosses in a point later into the future where it makes sense to face a lot of these bosses one after the other. Because this game is open-ended. It's technically open world, meaning you can go wherever you want, travel is instant. So that's one of the really fun things about routing in Pokemon TCG. It's the fact that this game, it rewards creativity, it rewards investigation, it rewards research and experimentation in terms of, okay, if this route doesn't work, I can just save it for later, and I would be completely fine. If this Pokemon doesn't work out, I can just try out another Pokemon. And that's part of the beauty of this, is that there's no like tried and true world record exclusive route or anything. It's just whatever you feel most comfortable, as well as your execution in Pokemon, as you get more experience doing Pokemon TCG. And it is not just a routing thing, it's a starter choice, because as you saw, I picked Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur contains the trio, Hitmonchan, Electabuzz, among others. And those are great cards. Oh, it also includes Plus Power, which is also another really, really good card. So what we do is, the thing about Pokemon TCG is ensuring that we want to not only have the route that we want, but it still kind of makes sure that we have the deck that we feel most comfortable with. And for me, that comfort level is with Hitmonchan. It's with Bulbasaur because it has a lot of great qualities with you know, relatively easygoing early game consistency. Charmander was actually the most popular deck throughout the history, throughout most of the history of this category, because Charmander has a lot of great fire types, meaning you can deal with the grass type early. It's got Computer Search, which, as I mentioned earlier, is an incredibly powerful card, and it's also got the trio. So there is a lot of really good qualities in terms of having Charmander. Squirtle's kind of a different story because Squirtle, the best way to describe Squirtle as a starter in this game is think Bulbasaur except harder. Meaning it's got some qualities of the Bulbasaur deck, but it doesn't have the trio, which means you're gonna have to figure out, you have to get really creative with your end game. You don't have a lot of great trainer cards, which is stuff that, you know, you draw more cards, you defend, you heal, etc, etc, etc. But that doesn't mean that it is not a bad deck. You can get great cards. You can absolutely get a what's the word? You can absolutely get a great time. In fact, two of the I'm gonna have to reset. That's unfortunate. Unless no, I'm gonna reset. This is a really annoying fight with Amanda. This is the one instance where we actually have to do two different Pokemon types because she's got a counter for each one, so you're just gonna have to hope and pray that you actually get the proper matchup. Amanda is a massive passive run killer, and so I am hoping that I get the right matchups. That's potentially good. We'll see. We will see. But as I was saying, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. No matter which of the two starters you end up picking, you have the potential to actually have a great run. And that's, as I mentioned, that's the beauty of Pokemon TCG, is that you can absolutely, the world is your oyster with this game. So so you are able to just have an absolute blast experimenting, figuring things out as we kind of go. And as I am also trying to kind of figure out what, actually, this is actually a great illustration. Ooh, it's actually a very good hand. So, what you just kind of saw me do right now is, wait, come on. Let's actually attach an energy to be able to one-shot Poliwag. There we go, perfect. So what you just saw me do right now is use the trainer card called Energy Search, which the intended purpose of that card is to, what's the word? The intended purpose is to search out an energy card, and you do that by looking at your deck. The thing about this game is you are able to, when the deck appears on screen when you're searching for an energy, it actually displays the cards in order of top to bottom what is going to be the very first card that you're going to see. So the first 5 cards that you saw on the opening screen, that is going to be the first 5 cards that you draw. So what we do is we use Energy Search to see, okay, I have Professor Oak already in my hand. It allows me to discard my entire hand to be able to draw more cards. So I want to see, is this a good hand, or do I have to use Energy Search to essentially shuffle the hand and re-roll and get something going? So by the way, this is our first boss, Gene. Take a listen to this amazing boss music, and the boss music and the entire music in this game is just wonderful. So I will try to see if I can get something going. Okay, nothing for now. This is going to, I'm gonna reset. Sorry to cut the music short on this one, folks, but I I was about to enter like a potentially very long stun lock situation. So I'm hoping that this time. And, well, back to Rhyhorn. And unfortunately, Rhyhorn is one of the most common Pokemon he will bring out. So, fortunately, at this point, I have to Grin and Bear it. But we do have a close power, meaning I can one-shot this thing in 2 turns. One more turn, and we are hopefully good to go. I'm hoping that it lands Tails. It lands Tails, and I can now take it out. The cool thing about Scyther is that it resists fighting. And his entire deck is fighting Pokemon, meaning there's hardly anything he can do to even touch me. Almost none of his moves will actually hurt me, not even one bit. So it's really at this point a free-for-all. We're just kind of now beelining to the end of of this fight. He's not going to do anything, and there really is not much more in here. So this would be actually a great time if there's any messages or there anything the wonderful host of this run has to say.
Absolutely. I will cut in here to briefly talk about the fact that we are raising money for community here at Speedromizer VI. For anybody not aware, community offers wraparound services to ensure program participants are able to access the support they need across a variety of programs and services, including an employment program launched in 2022, designed to help two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersexual, and asexual folks overcome barriers to employment. So, be sure to get some donations in here today for community, because it is a very, very good cause.
Wonderful, wonderful cause, and I'm very, very excited to be back here later this weekend when I'm doing my own hosting duties. And in addition, I'll be doing Super Mario Odyssey. So I'm very, very excited for this Mario Odyssey run, especially after I finally got a PB that that goes under the estimate. So, and I'm not done. I'm not done. This is gonna be a fun run coming in. Depending on, let's say November 23rd, 24th. I want to say. No, 23rd. Getting my dates mixed up here. Anyway, so we got Electabuzz. You might have noticed, eagle-eyed viewers might have noticed, hey, wait a minute. What kind of club is this? First of all, that's Pidgey. That's Pidgeotto. Don't worry about it. But you know how in Pokemon games, there's, gyms, and they each represent a type. The grass gym, the fire gym, the fairy gym. Even though fairy wouldn't be a type in this game for another 18 years. 18 years? No, 16 years. So, in this game, there are so few types. There's only 7 Pokemon types in this game. Fire, water, lightning, grass, fighting, psychic, and colorless. Colorless is essentially flying/normal types. There are so few types in this game that the game developers had to make up a gym with an abstract theme, and they called it the Science Club. So that is a gym. And by the way, we had to go through Joseph from the Science Club because that unlocks the ability to challenge the gym leader, but we are not going to worry about him until much later in the run. Actually, it would be a good idea for me to do some chip damage, potentially. This is Sarah. Sarah is, being perfectly honest, the easiest fight in the game. There's only one instance. If you're using an Electabuzz deck, there's literally only one instance where you could potentially be in a rough situation, and that would be if you get stun locked, but Poliwag can't paralyze you, so you're all good to go. But there's... Okay, so the Marathon... Wow, Marathon Lock has decided to rear its ugly head at the worst possible time. Hey, okay. I see what you're doing, game. I see what you're doing. I don't appreciate it. I don't. But, yeah, first of all, Sarah evolving a Pokemon in any capacity is absolutely beyond rare. Like, it almost never happens. So, woohoo! Marathon lock! But thankfully, it's not something, it wasn't so bad that I needed to reset the entire fight. So, thankfully, it's not, it wasn't that bad. So, we are now clearing through the Water Club, because now we're about to encounter our second boss, Amy. The name of the game when we go up against Amy, it's do we go first, and who gets the more favorable coin flips? Horsey, great preview, because Horsey has Smokescreen, and Smokescreen, what it does is, if it hits you, you have to flip a coin. If it lands heads, your attack goes through. If it lands tails, your turn ends and your opponent uses energy removal, not allowing you to do your strongest attack and forcing you to reset your fight. That's not what Smokescreen does in its entirety, but boy, did Joshua really make it obvious that this was a reset fight. This is a 3 versus 1. We want to try to avoid with the non-boss fights. We want to avoid anything in terms of numbers advantage. We want to avoid anything that's more than 2 versus 1. Let's see. This is 3 versus 1, but you know this Krabby, and I know the strategy. It's going to be, he's gonna use Call for Family to bring out the Krabby, and yep. So this is gonna be, unfortunately, I think this might be the first instance of the fight where we get a non-boss fight. We have to pick up every single prize card, which I'm actually surprised it actually taken up to this point. Usually it takes a little bit longer to do so. Let's see, the Cloister could be, ooh, that's problematic. So, could be fine. Just trying to kind of just make sure that I am not in a bad spot. Clamp, really? I've never seen Clamp. Zombie, have you heard me before? Oh, I have never seen this in a marathon. Marathon luck rearing its ugly head again, but it's fine.
He said the thing.
Yeah. Oh, Tristan, it's. I want to say this will be the last time I say those words today. I kind of have a feeling it's not gonna be the last time. Just warning you. Everyone, feel free to say he said the thing the next time I say that. It's already happened twice, where Sarah evolved Poliwag into Poliworld, and Joe and Joshua. Yes, Joshua. And Joshua basically gets to not only evolve Shelter into Cloister, but also successfully use Clamp twice in a row. This is not a marathon lock thing. This is like an overall speedrunning career thing. That has never happened to me before. I've never seen that. I've never seen that happen before. So this is Amy. The name of the game is making sure that you win the coin flip, because what she loves to do is essentially play Disruption with smoke screens, paralysis, and whatnot. So this is actually a great point. On, unfortunately. So I'm gonna reset this fight because that Lapras could potentially KO me if I'm not careful. So what happens? So in this game, as I mentioned, that global frame rule essentially, basically, it dictates everything, including coin flips. So it may. I'm gonna dispel an old schoolyard myth about this game, and that is that if you were to press A on the coin flip at a certain frame, whether it's like a visual cue or something, then you are always guaranteed to get heads. That's not true. I hate to break it to everyone. I hate to break it to every single kid in back in the late 90s, but that's actually categorically 100% false. This game, that global frame rule also does dictate the coin flip itself. So, because of that, we can try to manipulate coin flips and waste away different coin flips. Wow, this is such a really bad RNG seed. 3 straight coin flips landing tails. That's really bad. I've never. No, I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna say the thing because I've had this type. Because I've had that kind of bad luck before. I've had worse bad luck with the coin flips. I've had an instance where I had the opponent land 7 straight coin flips landing heads. Do the math. Do the math on the odds of 7 straight coin flips landing heads. It's in the single digit, by the way. So we got our second medal, and overall so my greater point is that you can use knowledge. You can reset the turn, which is to your last action, last like major decision-making action, and which is the coin flip. If you find out, okay, the next coin flip, that's going to be tails. You can try to manipulate coin flips in a way that you can try to have it land heads. Meaning that coin flips, meaning that you can use something like another card that also flips a coin flip to kind of waste away that coin flip result, or shuffle the deck to kind of reset the RNG. And by the way, this is Ronald. He's our rival. We are losing this game on purpose. Cool. Next story. No, okay, so we face Ronald after we get 2 and 5 medals. Story progression is not impacted by whether or not you beat Ronald. All he does is just give you a card, and it's much easier to lose on purpose than to try to win the fight. So that's essentially what we are trying to do. So we're gonna do that again, and Magnemite is actually the best example of a Pokemon to try to lose on purpose. You can automatically lose in 2 turns, and no questions asked. So now we're going into this segment here with Isaac. Or the segment overall where it's just going to be Duck Trio, and then a little bit later we're gonna bring back Hitmonchan one last time. This is Isaac. His whole thing is he's Lightning leader. Diglett resists Lightning, and it's kind of the same case with Scyther, with Gene going up against Rock types, because it resists Rock types. Gene literally cannot do anything. So at this point, it's just figuring out, okay, when is my Duck Trio going to? That was going to result in a tail. So I'm going to save that bad boy until later on when I know for a fact the next coin flip is going to be heads. That's the tails. As I said earlier, the Pokeball, that was going to be tails. But now, RNG has re-rolled again, and now it's heads. Because the way it works is that in duels, the RNG, that global flame rule, it's actually frozen. It actually freezes in place. So whatever happens, whatever that RNG seed specifically dictates, that's what's gonna happen. Unless the AI just arbitrarily kind of changes things that you have no control over. That's a separate deal. But what you can do to unfreeze that RNG is, as I was mentioning earlier, use something else like a Pokeball to try to flip another coin, or use Energy Surge to kind of shuffle the deck, which is another thing we can use with Energy Surge to shuffle the deck. What it does is unfreezes the frames, and just by 1 frame. So everything gets re-rolled again just by moving on to the very next frame. And we call that advancing the RNG. Is to kind of advancing to that next frame to be able to kind of give ourselves a fighting chance one more time with the run. Oh, and make sure we get nice quick. Okay, so okay, I'm keeping this. Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Oh no. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Wow, this is incredibly unlucky. I'm gonna keep this because now I know where the Duck Trios are. The prize pool, the prize cards that you get throughout this game they are just random cards pulled from the deck. It can be it can literally just be anything. However, by doing so, you run the risk of potentially being in a situation where the most important cards that you need are in that prize pool. So, oh, thank goodness, I don't have to reset the turn to try to guess where the trio is. So, no harm, no foul, but that was a little scary. Because, believe it or not, Ken, the fire leader, could have actually won on that third turn. Because Ken had a double colorless energy, and for some reason, he didn't give it. Okay, there is actually a programming reason why he did not give it. Give the chance to the double colorless energy to win. The reason why is because in most instances, if the AI's lead Pokemon is about to get knocked out, the AI will abandon that Pokemon and stop giving it energy cards. And by doing so, it wants to try and set up the next Pokemon. So sometimes what we do is, and that Chansey was at 60 HP, and we were gonna knock it out next turn. This is a potentially good hand if we don't encounter Mr. Mime. This could potentially be a really good Murray. Murray is one of the most annoying Pokemon in the entire game. So if we can get a quick Murray, that is music to my ears. So sometimes what we do is that we purposefully don't attack. We don't attack with our strongest moves in the hopes that we can just simply figure in the hopes that the AI just kind of thinks, oh, I have a phenomenal chance of being able to survive to the next turn. And then boom, next turn we then hit him with the strongest move. And also the opponent wastes a turn by adding energy to a Pokemon that they thought was gonna live next turn. Oh, hey, Hermachan, boy, that I needed you on last turn, but I don't need you anymore now. Marie is an extremely dangerous opponent that I am very grateful that we actually beat relatively easy. Early game was a little bit annoying, but we actually have kind of stabilized things just a little bit. So we're now actually 5/8 of the way through our medal count, which means we get to see Ronald again, which means you're get to see the Magnemite Boom strat where we lose on purpose. It feels like it was only 5 minutes ago where I introduced this strategy to the wonderful chat and the wonderful Speedromizer community. So you all kind of saw what the deal was. I don't need to explain again. So if there's anything that the host would like to say, if there's anything that Sam wants to kind of mention, now would be a great time. Because this is just going to be a repeat of the first Ronald fight.
Absolutely. I'll remind everybody just what Speedromizer is for anybody who's just tuning in now. Because we are showing you today with these runs. You are watching the Speedromizer VI, and Speedromizer is a charity marathon with a twist. What you submit is not what you run. Accepted runners are randomly assigned a game that somebody else submits, and you have 90 days to learn that game. So if that sounds like a fun time or an interesting concept to you, be sure to join the Discord at speedromizer.live/Discord. It's a good time. I would highly recommend it.
Awesome. Just enough time to kind of explain what the heck am I doing, Toronite? Toronite, why did you talk to an old man? You never met that old man once in your life. What are you doing? So, what I'm doing is, if you talk to that old man, you... Ooh, this is... Wait, what does he have? Oh, okay. This is still working. But then, if you beat Murray, the psychic leader, he gives you Mewtwo for free. All because the old man just didn't like that Murray was arrogant. That's about it. That's literally the whole side quest to getting this promo level Mewtwo card that we're using right now. Just, I don't like Murray. Can you beat him? I'll give you Mewtwo. And with that, we beat Mitch. Normally, one of the hardest fights in the game, but because we had a very, very good hand, and we went first, he was beefcake. So, unfortunately, as strong as Mewtwo is, we're gonna have to say goodbye to Mewtwo. Because as great as Mewtwo is, there is a potentially faster and stronger Pokemon, psychic Pokemon. It's not Alakazam, it's Kadabra. Kadabra has the strongest attack for a psychic type Pokemon in the game. I'm not even kidding. It is literally the strongest psychic type move in the game, and that is actually no, it's tied for the strongest. If I remember correctly, it's actually tied for the strongest. It does 50 damage, which is what we want. But hey, there's the other Mewtwo. It's actually maybe a Mewtwo instead, if I'm not careful. Because this Mewtwo. By the way, here's a fun little Leo. You ever seen Mewtwo? You ever wanted to see what would happen if Mewtwo faced off against Abra, a level 53 Mewtwo faced off against a level 10 Abra? Congratulations, you saw Abra beat Mewtwo. Like, just think about that for a quick second. Abra just soloed Mewtwo. That's the beauty of Pokemon TCG, is that you're able to see so many different things. Oh, this could be, well, it was fun while it, well, actually, wait. It was fun while it lasted. We were gonna get knocked out. That was kind of the unfortunate part. If I could have evolved to Kadabra, but then Mewtwo would have taken us out. We didn't have enough energy cards to be able to. Well, at least you saw Abra beat Mewtwo. That's the important part. That's the thing that if I'm being honest, that was the biggest thing I wanted to show off in this game. This run could be 2 hours long. Don't worry. Tech, don't worry. It's not gonna be a 2-hour run. I promise you it's not. But I'm only joking when I'm saying this is the one thing I wanted to show off. But at the same time, hey, want to see Abra solo Mewtwo again? Okay, so Porygon. So the reason why we're going Kadabra instead of Porygon. Yeah, instead of Mewtwo, Porygon. Mewtwo's strongest attack will only do 40 damage. Against Porygon, it resists. Not yet. Against it resists Psychic type Pokemon. The way resistance works in this game is that whatever the damage number is, you subtract 30. So Mewtwo's damage move that does 40 damage, it's only gonna do 10. With Kadabra, it does 20. Not enough to knock it out one go, but if you have plus power, then you can knock it out in one go. With Mewtwo, you can't. You need 2 plus powers, which is a lot harder to pull out, especially in a boss fight. But thankfully, we got through this fight, and we only have one more medal to go. We only have 8 duels left to go. Don't worry, the last 5 collectively are gonna be a gauntlet. But believe it or not, I want to say we're approaching the final third of the game. Believe it or yeah, we're already so close to beating the game. So I mean, look, want to try to get this done as fast as possible, just to kind of give, all the volunteers, all the hosts, all the tech, all the organizers of this marathon who've done an absolutely incredible job. Just on this first day and the build-up to it with so much going on. I mean, with marathons, it's so unpredictable. And, Chad, let's give a round of applause to everyone who has worked so hard today in ensuring we get this amazing speedrun for such a wonderful cause in community. So I'm hoping that we can end this on a very, very high note and finally and be the very best like no one ever was. Wait a minute, that's the anime. Hold on, good. You get psychic energy, perfect. So yeah, so this is what we like to call in the community, essentially the Island of Misfit Toys duel. Brittany has, fun little fact, in the speedrun, at least in the glitchless speedrun, Brittany has the highest number of basic Pokemon in the entire run. I don't know what the number is off the top of my head, but I know it's the highest number. And basically, it's called the Etc. deck. And what it does is, and what it means is, it just has like a bunch of like mismatched Pokemon of every single type. It's constructed in a very poorly designed deck, but it's one of the longer non-boss fights just because she's always gonna have Pokemon at the ready. So that is it. So let's see, what is our fire? Ponyta. Okay, that's not a. That's an okay ratio of Ponytas to Magmar. We don't have a single Rapidash, which is a little unfortunate, but I can work with this. I can work with 4 Magmars and 2 Ponytas. I already got the number. It's 4 and 2. So it's almost 3 a.m. where I live. So hoping to get a little bit of a break. Let's see. That's Licky Tongue. I'm resetting. If this was if I had Magmar instead of Ponyta, I would have considered keeping this, but this is the one Pokemon that you dread going up against Kristen, which is Licky Tongue. Oddish is... Okay, this is actually... Okay, let's see what that coin flip was going to be. That is going to be a tail. So, if everything works out well, we know it's the tails. There's the tails. So that's kind of that's also another really cool thing about having knowledge of when certain actions or certain moments are going to happen when you reset, is that knowing that we're going to get an unfavorable coin flip result, we're not obligated to actually flip that coin. We can just end the turn and give the opponent who has no idea, what's going on, give them the bad coin flip, and profit? Step 1, get a bad coin flip. Step 2, reset. Step 3, end for turn and give the opponent the bad coin flip. Step 4, profit? I think that's... I want to say that's the meme? I think that's... But yeah, this is Nikki, our final... Not our final boss, but our final, I guess, regular boss of this run. Because after this, we are... listen, it's a Pokemon game. Which means we got it at League 4. Which means we got a champion. Which means we have a gauntlet left. But this is the last fight before we get to it. So we're actually good. This is a potential sub-hour phase, which is actually pretty solid. Ooh, Gloom. But we have a full heal, so that is fine. Normally, Poison is very annoying, but we have full heal, so it's fine. It's a weapon. And the Pokemon that she has is Bulbasaur, so... come on. Actually, wait, no. We have Gust of Wind, which basically switches an opponent's Pokemon with one of our choosing, meaning that we don't have to deal with potential stun lock. And I'm not worried about Bulbasaur because Bulbasaur requires 2 energies to be able to attack, meaning that Nikki couldn't do anything with Bulbasaur until until she spends 2 turns just setting up the Bulbasaur. By the way, I mean, listen, it's Pokemon TCG. It's been a great time for lovers of the old school card game. Anybody enjoying the Pokemon TCG pocket? I certainly have been. It's been a lovely breath of fresh air into the TCG card game. It's been an absolute blast. What is 5 Seals, 3 Dugongs. That's really good. That's really good. That's what I'm looking for.
I've been enjoying people complaining about their polls in TCG Pocket in every group chat that I'm in.
Oh man, I'm kind of the opposite. Well, I don't want to say I have the best luck. I don't have like amazing luck, but I've gotten a lot of really cool cards. I had the I drew the Pikachu where it gives you like if you remember from the original trailer where it gives like this beautiful like scenery of like moving like almost like a movie quality type of deal with the Pikachu. I got that Pikachu and it's like one of my favorite cards. And I've been absolutely enjoying it. Even just like doing the daily login, and the only thing you do is just you do your pulls, and you don't even do anything of the sorts in terms of actual battling, it's such a fun time. It's like even just getting your 3, 5, or 10 cards of the day and whatever you get for Wonder Pick, it's a breath of fresh air. I'm very happy that TCG Pocket has come out. So we're the Elite Four. I didn't want to I want to bury the fact that we are in the Elite Four, but we're kind of already almost done with the first of the Elite Four. Yeah, we're done. Yeah, we just beat the first of the Elite Four. That was actually very, very easy. So, there's a gimmick with the Elite Four members. They're called the Grand Champions. Well, that's not the gimmick. The gimmick is that each of these have signature cards, of which they are video game exclusive. The reason why is because some of those have special abilities and properties that the real life TCG never considered an element of randomness that it's not prepared to handle, so they just only left it in the TCG video game. We didn't actually get to see it, but Courtney's ace was Moltres, which when it's played, all it does is give you 1 to 4 random fire energies at all times. Steve is already kind of seeing the lightning theming. He's got Zapdos. Somewhere. Okay, that is a point flip his tail, so I'm hoping that we don't get, I'm hoping that they don't have to potentially cause any problems. Okay, Voltorb is not really an issue, but I'm glad I made him waste a potion. Got rid of the Eevee. At least one of the 2 Eevees. Let's see what happens. Okay, like the buzz. The thing I'm dreading is the signature legendary Zapdos card that he has. Oh, perfect. Oh no, we're good. That's Zapdos. What it does is when it's played on the field, it does 30 damage to any one random Pokemon on the field, including its own. However, that Pokemon resists. It bypasses weaknesses, it bypasses resistances, meaning Diglett is free real estate for a knockout, and you kind of don't want to deal with that because if you are only left with 1 Dugtrio, or with 1 Diglett and nothing else, you're gonna lose automatically. You can actually lose the fight before your first turn if you go second. Like, you don't even get a chance to even play the game. Like, that's how potentially annoying Steve is. But as annoying as Steve can be, this next fight is worse. This is the hardest fight in the game because he has every single rotten element that you don't want to see in an opponent in Pokemon TCG. He's got damage sponges. He's got some really powerful tanks in Lapras. He's got Articuno he's got multiple versions of Articuno, all of which are incredibly annoying. So we are trying to really doing our best to ensure that. Actually, wait, I'm going to hold off. I'm going to hold off on evolving in case I get paralyzed. Hold on. What? I'm hyping up the Elite Four, and these have been 3 of the easiest fights in this was... Okay. I'm not... Okay. We are not biting that gift horse in the mouth, but this is legitimately one of the greatest first 3 dome fights in the community's history. It's... First of all, we have not seen a single legendary Pokemon. And I can guarantee you we're almost not going to see with him. His legendary Pokemon is Dragonite. That's not even a legendary Pokemon. And also, it's not even something that he can get out easily. The legendary birds, they all have the ability to... the legendary birds can be played instantly. Whereas in the case of Dragonite, you need to have... Ooh, that's a... that's... Okay. What are my options here? And... Okay. This is dicey, but I think we can... Oh, wait a minute, I did not... Whoopsies. As the chat pointed out, marathon luck. Hey, sometimes marathon luck can be a good thing, believe it or not. There's a believe it or not, the Dragonair is honestly not the issue. It's the Dragonite is not the issue. It's the Dragonair that has me very concerned. Because that Dragonair is out of KO range, can do a lot of damage, and I'm hoping that okay, Dratini has not been set up super well, meaning he doesn't have Dragonair. Okay, pretty good. A lot of times, it's funny because Rod is the weakest out of the 4 Grand Champions. However, in marathons, he just unlocks Ultra Instinct and ends up becoming like an unbelievably good player, which is quite bizarre. By the way, we are now at the final boss. If you played Gen 1 game, you kind of saw this coming. Our rival is the champion, Ronald. Now we're back to it. Yeah. Oh, and Ronald. Oh boy, do I have a lot to say about Ronald. Ronald. First, we're gonna scout out the deck. Okay. This is gonna be a little dicey. I'm gonna roll with this, but I'm gonna be honest. This is a kind of an awkward hand to start out with. So, Ronald, his reward for becoming the... Are you kidding me? Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, Ronald's the champion and everything. Ronald doesn't know how to play the game. You may not have seen it because it was lightning fast. Ronald used Pokemon Trader. What Trader does is you trade away a Pokemon that's in your hand to add a Pokemon that's in your from your deck to your hand. That's a pretty useful ability, if I do say so myself. It's a pretty darn good ability. You may not have noticed it. He traded away Articuno. He traded away Articuno so that he can get another Eevee out. So that he can evolve into Flareon, so the Flareon can get knocked out in one hit. And guess what? Hi, Jolteon. Jolteon can't do anything because Jolteon is lightning. Lightning does not is resisted by fighting. And hey, we beat. Wow, this may have been the second or third time in Pokemon TCG Marathon history that we went the entire gauntlet without seeing a single legendary bird. Here they are, Moltres. Pretty good. There's Articuno. He looks pretty snazzy. Would have been great to see him in action at least once. There's Zapdos. It's killed a million runs. It's cool. There's Dragonite. He's a part of the party, and time goes, now. That is legitimately one of the best, it's not all-time great, Pokemon Dome segments, but it's like a step below that. I'm gonna personally retime this. This has to have been like under 10 minutes. And I do apologize a little bit because I all of a sudden I said time. Like all of a sudden, but yes, this was Pokemon TCG. So there were a lot of stuff that the Elite Four, that the Grandmaster just didn't give me a chance to. They did not give me a chance to kind of really show, if I'm being honest. Basically, Ronald had 2 copies of every single legendary card that you just kind of saw in that final cutscene. Every single one. However, he doesn't know how to actually play them because Zapdos and Articuno require lightning and water energy respectively. Ronald doesn't have either of those in his deck, so those two Pokemon are completely worthless after they are played on the field. They are completely worthless. And that's Pokemon TCG in a nutshell. Alright, thank you so much everybody for giving me a chance to showcase this game. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't mentally ready to do to like bring it to action and do a run, but I'm very happy that not only was I able to showcase this run, it's a really good time. It's a great time for a marathon. This ended up being I don't know what the exact, I don't know if the timer stopped when I said go, but it was like, it has to have been like a 56, 57 minute run?
I think the timer stopped late and it was a 56 something.
Okay, yeah, 56, that's a great marathon run time. That's a great marathon run time. It's only a few minutes shy from marathon world record. So, and that's with kind of a mediocre early game. So, anyway, it's been a long first day of Speedromizer VI. I'm sure the entire team wants to get their well-deserved rest. You can find me on Twitch as Toronite, as my name kind of just says it right there. I will be back later this weekend with hosting duties of Speedromizer VI, and then next week I will be back running Mario Odyssey, which is the game that I was assigned to learn. And I am so excited to showcase the game. What someone with only 90 days to learn Mario Odyssey is capable of doing, and hopefully get more people to try out this game, as if Mario Odyssey didn't already have a million speedrunners in this game. Also, if you want to know more about Pokemon TCG, we have a Discord server. You go to speedrun.com, go to the Pokemon TCG leaderboards page, and there's a link straight up to the Discord. So if you want to know more about that, there's your go-to place. And for that, I'm Toronite. This has been Pokemon TCG. So long, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend, and have a wonderful Speedromizer VI. With that, signing off.